Alright, hi, my name's Renee, and today I'm going to talk about the reasons that people say that gays shouldn't be allowed to get married. First reason, marriage is an institution between one man and one woman. Obviously, people think that marriage hasn't changed over the last 1,000 years, and it definitely has. For instance, African Americans weren't allowed to get married back in the slave days. They did what was called hopping the broomsticks. It was not hopping a broomstick. It was not a legal form of marriage, and a slave owner could still separate the family at any point in time. Also, we have to consider that women were considered property for many, many years. When they married, first they were property of their father, then when they married they were property of their husband, but they were never their own person. Then we also have to consider interracial marriage. Interracial marriage was at one point illegal, and that's changed. Obviously marriage has changed a lot, and people need to keep that in mind. Just because we're talking about changing it from just one man and one woman to two men or two women or one man and one woman doesn't mean that we're trying to ruin your idea of marriage. Same-sex couples aren't the optimum environment in which to raise children. That's the second reason. Scientists have actually found that this is false. They found that children raised by homosexual parents are no more likely to be depressed or to be socially inept or to have any other kind of adjustment problems than children raised from heterosexual parents. They're also no more likely to be homosexual, but they are more likely to tell their parents that they are homosexual. Did you know that nearly 80% of people who are gay, teenagers, say that they haven't told their parents? Heteros. Another thing is that they've also found that gay people are more likely to be volatile with their parenting styles, which means that they go back and forth from being bad cop, good cop, whereas most heterosexual couples usually have one person who's in charge, and I hate to say it, it's usually the man. If you have two men, though, or two women, you have to have a different outlook on things. Gay relationships are immoral. The reason I don't like this argument is because morality is completely subjective, and I think that people forget that not everybody has the same religion, has the same faith, or has the same morals. So what could be immoral to some people is completely fine with the other. Gay relationships, as long as you're not in one, I don't think you have to worry about the morality of the situation at all. If you don't want to be in a gay relationship, don't be in a gay relationship. We don't want you anyway. Shit. Marriages are for procreation and ensuring the continuation of the species. The reason I really like this reason is because this is one of the main ones, or parts don't fit into each other, however they want to word it. But this implies that marriage in a heterosexual heterosexual relationship is for procreation purposes only. This is completely untrue because there are things such as birth control and abortion and things that inhibit procreation. Another reason I find it kind of ironic is because breeders is the derogatory name that homosexuals give heterosexuals, which implies that they're good for nothing other than breeding. And one of the arguments for not allowing gay marriage is that we can't breed. And just so you know, just because I'm gay doesn't mean my uterus is broken. Works just fine. I can have babies whenever the fuck I want. My partner can have babies. Just because they're not biologically related to us doesn't mean that they're any less our children. Marriage is traditionally a heterosexual institution. This is the first thing on here that's actually been true. And I'm just going to say, yes, traditionally it's a heterosexual institution. But you guys have been fucking it up for centuries. Let us have a fucking chance at it. Not only that, marriage was also traditionally a racial issue. It was a property issue. So, tradition has changed a lot. Be wary of the change, dude. If you're not willing to do it, go somewhere where it's not going to change. Because that's not going to be America. Same-sex marriage is an untried social experiment. Maybe in America. But considering there are actually countries where same-sex marriage is legal, obviously it is not an untried social experiment. Number one. Number two, it is not an experiment of any kind of form. It is a lifestyle, not an experiment. We are not fucking lab rats. Okay? Thank you. Same-sex marriage would start us down a slippery slope towards legalized incest, bestial marriage, polygamy, and all other kinds of horrible consequences. This is completely untrue and irrelevant. I don't know where they get these things and compare them to homosexuality at all. For instance, incest has been around for thousands of years. Royal families have done it for that entire fucking time. And it was a way to continue the fucking high-class society of England, of France, of Spain, even of America. So incest shouldn't even be mentioned because it was legal for a long time. Bestial marriage will never be illegal, or will never be legal because animals can't consent to be married. They also cannot sign a signature. They have no rights. They're not human, and because they're not human, they don't have rights. I'm sorry for all you animal lovers out there. But that's the legal aspect of it. And polygamy was extremely popular. It was done in many, many different countries. There were emperors who had concubines. Polygamy has been done for thousands of years, and the only reason that it's illegal now is because people have this idea that you should marry for love, even though nobody married for love up until the 1800s. Anyone who thinks differently has obviously been reading too many romance novels. Granting gays the right to marry is a special right. Special right. And I do that because it's in quotations, alright? Granting gays the right to marry is not a special right since 90% of the population can already get married. Obviously, it is a special right for heterosexuals and not homosexuals. We want the exact same rights that you have, and I think we have every right to have those rights. Just because you don't believe in gay marriage, it means don't get one. Doesn't mean don't tell me I can't get one. You have no right to say that. That is not your right as a human being to say that I can't get married to somebody that I love. Fuck you and fuck your closed-minded ideas. Alright? Sodomy should be illegal and was until very recently. Now, it is still illegal in some countries and even in some states in the United States, but should be illegal. That makes it a subjective thing. Alright, if you don't like sodomy, don't participate in sodomy. End of story. Me, I don't like having things shoved up my ass, alright? Like, if somebody tried to shove something up my ass, I would probably stab them. Hands down, that's the way it is. I could never be a gay man. If I was a man, I couldn't fucking do it. There's absolutely no way that I could be a gay man because I'm just so freaked out by getting something shoved up my ass. But I don't think that I have the right to say that it should be illegal for other people. I think that's a terrible fucking thing to say. Just because I'm deathly afraid of it doesn't mean that it doesn't pleasure some people, and do what feels good. Fuck, I have no right to tell you anything differently. Gay marriage would mean forcing businesses to provide benefits to same-sex couples on the same basis as opposite-sex couples. I don't know why this is a reason for gays not to get married. Maybe the businesses are putting it up here. But for those of you who don't already understand, that's what we want. Equal rights. Notice, provide benefits to same-sex couples on the same basis as opposite-sex couples. On the same basis. We want the same rights. Is it making sense yet? Alright, let's try this. One more. Gay marriage would force churches to marry gay couples when they have a moral issue against doing so. Number one, there are churches that will marry us. We don't have to go to your fucking Catholic service. Alright? And most of us would be perfectly happy to do it in front of a justice of the peace. We don't care as long as we have the right. Me personally, I don't even know if I ever want to get married. But if I do, it should be my right to get married. It should not be your right to tell me I can't. Changes are happening all around you. And just like integration of blacks into white schools, there are going to be people who are uncomfortable. The thing that you have to remember, though, is that with all change comes discomfort. Okay? Comes discomfort of closed-minded people. I hope you understand this as we go into this next fucking century with this new outlook on life, alright? As we go into this next election, just think about that. Change is uncomfortable, but I think it's worth it. Peace.